During one of our interviews of celebrating the cinema of Satyajit Ray, we had a thought-provoking insight from Varun Grover, one of India's most prominent lyricists. Varun said that good cinema is of two types. One which introduces us to a new world, a world which we are completely unaware of, such as, say, the Jurassic Park. And the other, which talks about the world around us, of which we are familiar, yet provides a perspective which is very unique and which one didn't think of. School of Lies falls right at the top of the second category. It is a unique take on our surroundings, things which we do not see so easily. In episode 6 of School of Lies, we watch an interview being recorded by the senior students of the high-profile boarding school Rise, the setting of the dark mystery thriller by director Avinash Arun. A teenage girl, Sarita, narrates how she became the youngest mountaineer to climb an extremely challenging peak, thanks to the love, support, and training of her father, who is there joining her for the interview. A kind of interview we have watched and read so many times over media. Feel-good stories that inspire our mundane living. And there he is, the 12-year-old student Shakti Salgaonkar, witnessing the interview with his seniors. Well aware of how the surface-level feel-good factor of such stories is a camouflage for the underlying lies. Love can never inspire such success, he says to his senior. The girl's father must be a harsh and strict man to push his daughter to this achievement. Shakti, a kid thinking and living well above his age. The catalyst of Avinash Arun's story that works as a post-mortem of today's society that thrives on lies, deceits, compromises, and violence, almost all of which is tucked under some rosy, glossy carpet. School of Lies is a brilliant addition to this year's exciting palette of Indian web series, each of which is making its mark in unique ways. It is a must-watch series now streaming on disney+hotstar, arguably the best of the year that we discuss in this video. There will be minor spoilers in the discussion, so preferably watch the series first before coming back to this video. Legendary filmmaker Michael Haneke had illustrated in his Palme d'Or-winning film The White Ribbon the psychological development and growth of children in small village in Germany during the years before World War I. We watch those children rise and grow who will eventually participate in the First World War, and perhaps relate how a war of that magnitude cannot be the reaping of a few days. Rise, the affluent private boarding school of North India, puts up a similar setting as we watch how the most privileged children learn and grow, ones who would eventually shape the future of the country. Director Avinash Arun creates a three-storied structure of lies in this setting of a private school, an educational institution which should supposedly be the building blocks of a person, society, and country. It's the adults in the upper tier, teachers of the school or the parents of the students. There's Aamir Bashir as Shakti's housemaster and Nimrat Kaur as the school counsellor, survivors of abuse and violence from their own childhood, still struggling with the skeletons in their closets. There's Geetika Vidya Olyan, Jitendra Joshi and Sonali Kulkarni as parents fighting battles of their own compromising lives as the generational trauma passes on to the children. And then there's Bhola, the school gardener, a criminal in disguise, and the father of Chanchal, the local kid whom Shakti befriends. Across its 8 episodes, School of Lies establishes how the scars of the past generation leave its indelible mark on the present, be it in Nimrat's angst on his father for witnessing her childhood abuse in silence, be in Sonali Kulkarni's surrender in silence as her sons fight, or the revelation of the final episode in the eyes of the young Chanchal, who would never be the same kid anymore. The middle tier of the senior students of Rise mimic the adults. Their plight and pain are such subtly depicted in their regular chores and in their strictness towards the juniors to hit home the pseudo-discipline that somehow deviates them from their crisis at large. Varun Rupani as Vikram and Aryan Singh Alawat as Tapan are both excellent, effectively expressing their vulnerability that's slowly fading away as they sink into the systematic pyramid of lies that constitutes their surroundings. The school is at best a compulsion and at worst a prison, you hear Vikram say, and wonder what all might be going inside the boarding school when the lights are dimmed. The beauty of the series is how effortlessly it portrays the entire ecosystem of lies we live in through this one place, one incident and a few characters. As we mentioned earlier, the missing child Shakti and what might have happened to him is just a catalyst to peel off the first layer of the onion to depict the scarred realities of everyone associated with the ecosystem of lies. And there might be so much more in subsequent layers that the series hints about but never gets into. Veer Pachisia as Shakti, the child who goes missing, is as effective as a catalyst as could have been. As the bottom layer of the pyramid of lies, he is perhaps the best equipped for the world we live in today. With promptly made up stories to save himself from his teachers and quickly cooked flattery to be in the good books of his seniors. It's a deeply moving and brilliant writing by the creative team when the same Shakti becomes a part of the tragedy in spite of his meticulous calculations and clever ways. Well, that's the unpredictability of life. Never under your control, however hard you try, thereby taunting at this ecosystem of lies we witness. There's also a sharp commentary on the mirages the society creates to help its otherwise uninspiring living, like the mystics of religion or the freedom of the wild. Young Shakti, with his experience of only 12 years, is wise enough to see through and discard both, and yet for reasons of his own, he wants to break out of the ecosystem to perhaps try and find shelter in some other mirage. Well, every character is trying to break free before succumbing back to their realities, perhaps lacking in courage than the younger, carefree Shakti. By the end of the show, few of them rely back on new lies, some for the better and some for the worse, but adding new layers to their lives of lies which will come back to bite someday. We started with a passing scene, and so let us finish with another. An apparently simple one, like the interview sequence, where we watch a chicken pecking on an omelette that Chanchal and Shakti throw away. And then think of it, and you realize how dark the idea is that the director presents. Shakti questions if the chicken realizes it is eating its own egg. Director Avinash Arun wants his audience to have the same question in mind when we watch the father and daughter in the very common and harmless interview scene and across the series. Perhaps we realize, or perhaps we still do not understand. Either way, School of Lies serves as a superb reminder that should fire through our collective conscience. That is all from us today. Thank you for watching.